Why are the applicants on the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Executive Council court ruling opposing the PEC's appeal? Was the appeal by the PEC sanctioned by the ANC's NEC? Is it not legal for the current PEC to continue holding office pending the outcome of the appeal? And how are the current divisions within the ANC in KZN impacting preparations for the December conference? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. A faction of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal has filed an application with the Pietermaritzburg High Court to oppose the appeal by the Executive Committee. On 12 September this year, the High Court declared the outcome of the 2015 Provincial Conference null and void. A series of events followed this ruling, with those supporting Senzo Mchunu calling on the current PEC to quit office. Then came an intervention by the ANC's NEC as an effort to find an amicable solution. At the center of the matter is the decision by the PEC to appeal the court ruling, while many believed that the decision to appeal lied with the national leadership. These developments have put the credibility of the ANC's internal processes under the spotlight. A similar scenario is playing itself out in the Free State, with the Eastern Cape's recent conference outcome also being contested. KwaZulu-Natal remains the ANC's biggest province in terms of numbers, with Mpumalanga holding the second spot, according to the latest number of branch delegates for the ANC's upcoming conference. But will the ANC in KZN be a united force come December? We are live, and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-1104-210. If you're outside the borders, +2789-1104-210. Our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. My guest today, Lawrence Dube. Lawrence is an ANC councillor in Vryheid, and he's the first applicant in the matter where the ANC is a respondent. And he joins us from our Durban studios, and unfortunately, because of the rains and the thunders and all that, the storm, our studios are flooded. So we really appreciate the efforts from our colleagues in Durban to make arrangements for us to talk to our guest. Lawrence Dube, welcome to the show, and we really appreciate you joining us. You have appealed the intention by the PEC to remain in office. What's your intention? What do you want out of this process that you have launched with effect from yesterday?
Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, viewers. Yes, it's true. We have launched our papers yesterday. The intention here is to request the High Court to put in effect the judgment that was taken on the 12th of September, that of nullifying and making the conference that took place in 2015 void. So that's the main intention. We want to execute that order and have this PEC, the appellant PEC, vacate the offices, and so that we can have the PTT in place that will ensure that processes that leads to the national conference and also the provincial conference are put in place in a proper way.
But what is your understanding of the problem? I mean, the NEC delegated the NWC to come down, and I mean, the top six was there. You yourself, you sat in a meeting with the president of the ANC and other members, officials of the ANC. Are you not able to find a way out of this quagmire, if one may call it, through those structures?
Look, Mpo, I think it goes with the willingness from, concerned structures. On our side, I think from the onset we have showed willingness in terms of talking about this with the relevant structures, of course, higher structures, and no sign of interest was shown from the structures. We never derived any joy at all. We tried, and they haven't shown any sign. Look, my take is that the day we had a meeting with the top 5 of the National Executive Committee, together with the deployees of the province here, we went there in a spirit that we thought that there will be some unification after that meeting. But instead, what we got was that already decisions had been taken in terms of allowing the appellant PEC to lodge an appeal. But then on the other side, the language that we get from the president is that of saying the very same appellant PEC is prepared to have talks with us. Listen, all along, I think it is us. It has been on our side wanting to talk to the other side, and we are not deriving any joy on that.
So, you have lodged this application now. You want the order to be executed. If it is not executed, what then?
I don't think there will be any way that is not executed. I mean, the court cannot grant us the judgment that the relief that we were sorting, and then at the end of the day, they don't grant us the execution order. I don't think that will happen in that fashion. Actually, it's so unfortunate that we had to go to this extent. By virtue of the court declaring that conference unlawful and void, the PEC, if the ANC wanted unity, it would have actually instructed them to leave office and then start new processes of identifying who can sit in the PTT. We wouldn't be seeking for an execution order for now, and wouldn't be also opposing any appeal. So because of the stubbornness, I don't know whether it is stubbornness, whether things have been done deliberately because you know very well that I've got some powers or whatever. That is why we are in this situation. So basically here it's a matter of saying to the ANC, read your constitution, understand the constitution. I mean, it's like people who are in leadership, they really don't want to listen to read the constitution and understand the constitution. That is the problem.
Okay, let's go to our calls here. Daniel, you are in Tembisa. Welcome.
Hi, Mo.
Yes.
How are you, my man?
I'm well. Thanks very much for the call, Praten.
Yeah, actually, me as a voter, as a citizen of this country, I don't have a problem with our organization as the African National Congress.
Okay.
What is this fiction all about? Because if you can look the organization, entire organization, for now, the campaign is done by almost 7 candidates, and of which all of them, they don't have their supporters. And at the end of the day, those fictions, if ever wins one, therefore, is almost the split. It shows the split of the entire organization.
Okay.
What can they do better for the South Africans, even if they're so paralyzed like that?
Okay, thanks very much, Dan. They're calling us from Tembisa. Well, Lawrence, do you see yourselves as splitting the ANC?
No. We want to unify the ANC. As I've indicated earlier on that from the, just after the conference, we've been talking unity. We wanted to talk, we wanted to have meetings. And let me tell you, after the conference, we had a three-a-side meeting, wherein I think the talks were on saying, guys, we are tired of factions, we are tired of this disunity, let us work together. But you know, the answer that we got on our side was that, who are you? What structure do you represent? Go back to your branches. And that's what we have done. We have gone back to the branches. We are working with the branches. And really, this thing of unifying the organization, it's what made us to stand and say, look, let's face the reality. Something is not right within our organization. Let us fix that which is not right. Yeah. And of course, that's why we stood up and started challenging these things. Mind you, I need to remind people, we didn't just wake up this morning and went to court. We tried all internal processes. But unfortunately, as I said initially, that we never derived any joy. Okay. Hence, we ended up going to the courts. Yes, I agree, courts are not the solution to our problems. But now the question is, if you are not listened inside, and the courts are the only remedial solutions that are there, what do? You'll go to the courts because you are not being listened internally.
Joe, you are in Alberton. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Ndatempo, how are you?
I'm well, Ndati. How are you?
No, I'm okay. Ndatempo, man, I'm a bit disturbed about Lawrence and the other guys, man.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, Ndatempo, let's talk straight things.
Yes.
This guy, Lawrence, if he says he has followed the processes, he has never gone to lodge the appeal to the NEC into the House. They have never done that.
Wait, Rajo, hold it right there. We have Lawrence in studio. I want him to respond to that whilst you're still on the line.
We have to go.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
My question to Ntate Kabo is that, did we have to appeal? Was there a need for us to appeal? Why do we have to appeal in our structure? We don't have to appeal. We went there, we complained, we lodged complaint, we wrote letters. We had a meeting with the president on the 12th of December in 2015, wherein he promised to come to us back within 5 days. 5 days went to be 30 days, 60 days, so forth. So I think you are misinformed, and that we did try what we could do. We never, as I've indicated, never woke up in the morning and decided to go to court.
All right, let's go back to Ndate Job.
No, okay, Ndatempo, yes. I can understand what Lawrence is trying to say. Anyway, we are also members of NC for many years. Maybe he was not there by then. I was just going to tell him something. I see interconnection between Lawrence and Cyril Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa said he was also there, if Lawrence is really telling the truth, on the top 6. Cyril Ramaphosa recently, he endorsed the leadership which is controversial in Eastern Cape. He said, we cannot do what has happened in KZN. Okay? We have to solve this thing very quick. And this guy with Senzo, they are all campaigning for Cyril. I'll tell you what's happening here. The NC is going to break into two halves because of controversial Cyril and these guys. Therefore, I'm telling you, you give me a hand. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much.
Sure.
Well, Lawrence, yeah, your response.
Well, I didn't want to go into the issues about Cyril and Senzo. Here, the main issue is the rigging and the irregularities that took place before the 2015 conference and during the 2015 conference. You see, if you don't have information handle, you need to ask people as to what happened. No. But I should think our affidavit, the original affidavit that we put forth, explain all the irregularities. I would challenge Ntate Joe Tetanghotswano that he must go and get that affidavit and read as to what happened. Askataka factionalism, you see. That's the thing.
But you see, maybe help us understand here, Lawrence, what is it which we do not know about this whole matter?
That which many people don't know is that many BGMs that led to the conference were rigged. We had the BGMs that were not handled properly. The conference itself was rigged. There were a lot of irregularities that took place there. And all that is contained in the original affidavit that we placed on the 22nd of July in 2016. So people, this is it's a public domain document. People can go and read it. And think that they know the facts. I don't think that a full bench could have granted us the relief that we sought if what we were having was not genuine.
Okay, let's go to, is it Batswani or Patswani in Naturena?
Every box.
It's Paswani.
Okay, Ndati Patswani, welcome.
Thank you, Mpo. Hello,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. You know what? I think the problem here, everyone knows, is with the president, because everyone is just running to the courts, because even if he's been consulted, he doesn't do anything. And then this shows that the ANC does not have any spine anymore, because everything is, everyone is just running to the court. And then even now, I understand the last caller, what he's saying, but the problem here is with the leadership. They can't solve a lot of problems from our Xodia's movement, and it's very sad. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks indeed. Well, we're now joined in studio by Thapelo Tlapedi, who's from the Department of Politics and International Relations at the University of Johannesburg. He's going to help us analyze this. Welcome very much, Thapelo. Let me allow Lawrence to respond to the call.
No, I wanted to say it is very important for people to read the constitution of the ANC. The ANC doesn't exist in vacuum. It has got a document that guides it. That is the constitution. And besides the constitution, we have got guidelines that we normally get when we have got events very important like our conferences and our summits. So if we are not going to be following that which we agree on, obviously there will be grievances. But I want to agree with the caller. We are in this situation that we find ourselves in because of the failure of the NEC to attend to the issues on the ground. You know, this thing of postponing. We don't know whether is it done deliberately or is it because maybe the organization is too big. It has got many issues that needs to be addressed. But main issue here is the failure of the NEC to address the internal problems that we are faced with.
John, you are in Hammanskraal. Welcome.
Hello, how are you, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I get Paulela Gasoto.
Sesotho or Sepedi?
Yeah, I get Paulela Santa Tola, Alu, whatever.
Yeah.
Hori, they are the kill. Send them to the chairperson. What was his party I dialing him?
Mohu rigging.
Well, that's a chairperson, they are province by then.
No. Go. Utlwisisa Brajan hore. Ora re senzo mkhunu role ya hae ne le eng ho rigging di branches tseo or bang.
Ya ke ra hore ka hore ntate o bolela taba hore di DPGF na di rigiwa.
Yeah.
So my question is go ka ba le senzo na ile party who clearly the Ricky way then he was the chairperson.
No, I
okay.
I understand question Ntate Mpo. I understand it. Can I Kimubutsa Hori? You see, as I say, we've got the guidelines in the ANC. Honestly, the committees that are being set when we go for conferences.
Yeah.
And of course, we have got what we call the Dispute Resolution Committee. We've got the steering committee. We've got the finance committee. I want to go back to this dispute resolution committee. It failed to resolve the disputes that were coming through before the conference and actually even during the conference. So I think I would still challenge people now to say, you know what, the best thing is go to the courts, get the document, the original documents that the affidavit that we placed on the 22nd of July 2016. it entails everything. You know, in One dispute resolution committees, they are there. I don't think it will be unfair. I don't think it will be fair for us to look at one person and say because it's the chairperson. A chairperson, yes, is a chairperson, but the chairperson has got other people that are working with him in the whole process. But I can assure you he was not part and parcel of the dispute resolution committee. That I can guarantee, because I know all the people who were placed on these committees.
Difficult time for the ANC?
Look, I think it's a very difficult time for the ANC. We've seen just recently the elective conference of the ANC in the Eastern Cape. We've seen the violence there. We've seen, I think, what is happening again as well in KZN. And this is definitely going to bring up the question as to whether is then the December conference going to be steady.
There's another court, by the way, in Free State.
Yeah. No, that has been ongoing as well.
Yeah.
Look, I think we were in a season where we're going to see a number of ANC conferences being challenged through the courts, as well as in Northwest as well, from what I gather.
Yeah, and
there's another court case there. There's another court case there.
Yeah.
So I think the courts are going to have to, I guess, be in a terrain where they've not traditionally been involved in. So it's quite interesting as the ANC then moves into December elective conference, how they're going to deal with all of these things.
But then what does the ANC do when you are faced with political problems that are being dealt with legally?
Look, the ANC has released guidelines as to the sort of processes that must unfold when these disputes come. So there's obviously a turnaround period in which the people who are at Congress or delegates can then lodge disputes or raise certain concerns. So you cannot obviously wait for longer than 2 weeks, from what I could gather from the document that has been given by the NEC. But I think part of the problem obviously is that the NEC is compromised. Even though there is a guideline, part of the problem is that the NEC is compromised. So, because there are obviously subjective matters here, people who are going to intervene in these processes are officials of the NEC, are officials of the NWC, and given the positionality in the factional politics of the ANC now, I think it's going to be a bit of a problem going forward to the elective conference.
So, who do you have confidence in, Lawrence?
Look, I think what needs to happen here is that a PTT needs to be formed, but we need to be careful as to how do we come to that PTT. You know, fortunately we have got structures like the Veterans League, which I think in a way it is not compromised. There's a role that the Veterans League that it needs to play. That integrity committee that is there, it has got a role to play. I'm happy that your analyst is speaking about the guidelines that indicates that problems that are there needs to be solved within 2 weeks' time and all that. If we are to stick to those conditions that are put in the guidelines, I think we won't have any problem. The problem is you've got good set of laws that you put, policies and all that, but you don't adhere to that. The constitution, ANC's constitution, is the most best constitution you can think about. But because people always want to break, so that they are covered and they benefit in whatever that happens. That is the problem that makes Uguti, the ANC always has got a problem. Let's get people with dignity, people with integrity, people who are fair. You know, when you do things within the organization, do them fair and square. Whether you lose or you lose, but let's uphold the flag of the organization, and I think that will assist us.
Well, the platforms which Lawrence has confidence in are not taken serious in the ANC.
Look, I think it's a very difficult one. I think for those who are inside, obviously, the ANC, the only thing to do is hope in those structures and hope that the processes that have been outlined by SG do hold sway. But I don't think that's the case. I think
their recommendations have been disregarded. They have recommended long ago that the president must go. The Integrity Commission has been saying all sorts of nice things. Nothing has ever come to fruition.
No, it's precisely then why I raised the issue of subjectivity. The people that are involved in those disputes or involved in some of these concerns are people, depending on the, again, positionality vis-a-vis the factional politics of the ANC, who then must be able to arbitrate on that matter. And again, I think that's very compromised. That's very difficult in such a scenario where, again, the NEC is compromised. So again, I think the deciding factor must be the elective conference of the ANC if it's going to sit.
Lawrence, let me allow you your closing remarks.
No, you know the problem with us is these small skeletons. That's the ones that normally, create this element of compromising. Yes, it is true. I agree with the analysis there. Some of the structures, like the NEC, me personally, I feel it is highly compromised because of the little skeletonianas that Minister Batebile once spoke about. Because really, I fail to understand why people can't be solid on their decisions. Okay. So now this thing of blackmailing and targeting each other within the ANC, I think that is what is the problem. That is my personal view. Please, I don't think it has to be linked with anybody, but that's my personal view.
Okay.
Skeletons, these little skeletons, that is the problem. Yeah.
All right.
Let's get rid of these skeletons.
Okay, no, that's fine. Well, look, we have run out of time, and let me just remind you that tomorrow we're having a special broadcast, 1 hour special with Jeff Radebe. He's one of the presidential candidates of the ANC come December, so please make sure you don't miss that one. Tomorrow from 5 o'clock until 6 o'clock, Jeff Tamsang Radebe will be our guest. From me and the entire crew, and we really thank our crew down in Durban, Linda Mkopozi, and the cameraman there for your assistance. We really appreciate. Thank you very much.